Alright guys, so we're in the back of the Honda Fit, and like I said, I wanted to do some stuff that will somewhat maybe help us when it comes time for the Dragon. I want to do some more suspension bars. I do already have a C-pillar bar that I made. This is custom from me. What I'm going to do now is, in order to get any other type of suspension bar back here, I did have something to the top of the strut mounts, but then honestly, that doesn't do anything because the strut mount is basically just sitting there. That's not attached to the body. The only other body mount on this car is this part right here. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to build a bracket that comes off of here, slides out, and connects. Now, Jay's Racing is another Japanese company that makes something like this, but they're kind of hard to come by, and I kind of want to make my own because I have something that I want to do. We're going to do that. I'm going to get this off. We're going to get this traced out into metal and then somehow extend it out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go. Alright guys, breaking out some cardboard, you know, CAD, you know, you get the point. Right now, these are just the brackets that came off the car. I'm going to go through and cut them to exactly the size I need, because you'll see later I've got to be able to cut a slot in the bracket to fit over the slot there. This is a super cool tool. There's a guy on Instagram who sells these, and I can't think of the name right now. I apologize, but you're able to kind of find center of anything. He sells these in 3. He also sells them in really, really big ones that you can spread across, and you can find center. And yeah, I know you can read a tape measure. Good for you. But some people can't, or some people just don't do it as well. And this is, I consider this to be way faster. Alright, because this bracket has like a really big hump going around those 2 support posts, I needed to cut this out a little wider so that when I traced it onto the metal, I would just cut that out. And it's not fun trying to cut this stuff from hand on a 3/16 sheet of steel, but we did get it done. We brought out, I think, every grinding tool that I own, whether that be the flap attack disc or coming in with a little carbide disc to really get in there. First, we're going to cut out the entire bracket from hand, just that one piece there. We'll cut all that out from hand, and then I had to slowly work my way out for that center opening, just trying to make it really clean. I even brought out this little cutter here. These things scare me to death just because they're really known to shattering, and I have not had a tool shatter in my face yet. I do not want a tool to shatter in my face yet. But either way, I had to use this to kind of get in there and really get into the fine line. The big one was just way too big. Here you can see I'm using the carbide to get in there and kind of work the circles out. I used a Christmas tree to get a bigger circle, but I think it came out really well. I got it and it fit perfectly over that bracket. Alright, that bracket was a pain in the ass, but I got it done. Looks pretty good. Not really going to see it anyway, but I still wanted to, you know, have it look at least decent. Goes on like that. It'll lock in there, and then we'll start building off the actual bracket itself. See how long this bolt is. So we got plenty of bolt there. So yeah, it's gonna come in. We'll bolt it up. Something like that. There, yeah. Okay, cool. Goes like that. We'll have to trim some more out. I want it to come as far into this as I can because the seat does recline some, so I don't want it hitting. So that's something we'll have to take into consideration when we're putting it in. Probably should do that and then start building the rest of it out of CAD, you know, cardboard design. That's what we do. I ended up needing to notch out that corner there. I didn't want to sit completely flush, but I got it. And then we break out some 2-inch strap here, and same thickness as all the other material. I'm going to round off the ends so that it looks nice and clean and professional before I drill any holes. And again, I get to use this tool. Again, super easy to find center, although that finding the center of 2 inches isn't so bad. All right, punch in center. Going to go drill a hole on this, but first I went ahead and cut it to where the size I needed, and then just went through and round off the edges so that it would look nice and clean and professional, I might add. All right, second little line I'm making here, I'm going to put a little scribe into the second piece because you can see here's where I want this to sit. I wanted the scribe, or I wanted that piece of metal to bend down, and this stuff's not real easy to just bend on a 90. So if you put a little scribe in it, you can bend it really easy. We come back in, we TIG weld that up later so that it looks nice and clean, and it actually came out really good. And it made it super easy. I don't know if any of you guys have a tool big enough to bend some 3/16 real easy, but I do not. So again, this is the easiest way to do it. Just scribe it down, don't go all the way through it, go down pretty far, and then cut the rest of it off as needed. Alright guys, now we're going to drill those holes out, and don't forget to use your anchor lube. I live by this stuff, guys. I've been a big sponsor of my main channel for a really long time now, and I literally use it on everything. I don't just because it's sponsored that I promote it. It actually works. I've been using the same drill bits, the same hole saws forever just because of this product, and it saves it. I don't have to sharpen my bits. I don't know the last time I have sharpened a bit. But even with my Christmas trees, I run a Christmas tree right through this thing. Yeah, it goes flinging, but you can clean it up. It's not messy stuff at all. Alright, after we ran both of these, I think I punched them both to about a 1/2 inch hole on each of them, and that made it so that I could run the bolt through both real simple. Pulled out the little grinder to get in there, get it really clean. I need to get this stuff as clean as I can now because I don't have a sandblaster, and we're going to be powder coating this. Also, because I'm going to be TIG welding it, we also, again, want to make sure that the metal is as clean as possible. So getting all the mill scale off, a lot easier to do using that little grinder. And then what I do here is I put the two together so that I can get the exact same roundness on each piece. Just makes it look more cohesive. I really have missed doing this kind of work. It's been years since I did any kind of automotive suspension, so this was kind of nice little change from doing bikes. Alright, here I'm just sliding the heim joint in, and I'm putting washers on both ends of the heim joint because I want to have that kind of spacing, so once I weld it, I don't have it to where I can't fit it back into the bracket again. I kind of want a nice loose fitting, and then once I bolt it, that'll really help clamp it down. Here we're just going to the bottom bracket, or the main bracket that goes to the car, just making sure everything line up real good, and then here I'm going to just give it some tack. You can see right there where I had cut the metal to make it so that I can bend it. Now we're just going to go in and fill that in with some TIG rod later and grind it smooth. You wouldn't even know it was there once I was finished, and that's kind of important, especially when you're TIG welding, because there's no body work in TIG welding. You got to go in, do a real nice metal finish, and then go over it, and then you can powder, and then everything looks great. I do enjoy TIGging the big stuff. Much easier. Alright, first bracket is basically I just tacked it here and I finished it here because I knew it would be fine. But I do want to run like a backbone down this since it's about 6 inches long. But we're going to see how this will fit up. Yes. So that'll hang here. That's perfect. Damn, that came out good. Sick. Let's check the back seat. Make sure I can close it. That's kind of the important thing. Alright guys, a productive night, I would say. This bracket's basically done. I'm not going to touch it because it's welded, but it came out pretty good. I'm not a professional TIG welder, but those don't look too bad, do they? What do you think? Okay. Anyway, the next one I'm doing, this one I cut out. Ooh, that's still hot. This one I cut out to make, to do that for that thing. The problem with this one is this one has like this weird cage. Am I even showing you? There it is. This has like this weird cage around it. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and run it behind it. It's a little more simple. As soon as I figure out how I did that. Oh, yeah. So it goes this way. So here it goes. So it'll face the vehicle that way. And it's going to just go in behind it instead, and then I'll run that off of there. And the picture of the one I've seen for these, it's just a straight piece coming off. So we'll do the same thing like we did here. I'll just run it. I'll cut it down the center so I can bend it real easy, make a good little bracket, and then later I'm going to add a spine right there so that it can't
fold in any way. But it's coming out really good. Put it in the car, fit real nice. This is the bar. I have these aluminum. This is aluminum, so it'll be relatively lightweight, still strong. Or I can run steel later. I'm probably going to run something a little thicker later. I think this is only 1 inch, but it'll do for what I want to do. And just got to get some more of these bolts too. But coming out pretty good. I'm tired. I'm going to call it a night. We'll get back on this tomorrow. Hopefully we can get all these brackets done, get it bolted into the car, and then break it down, and we're going to powder coat the brackets, and then I'm going to paint the bar, because the bar I have in there now is like a brass color, so it matches my wheels. So I'm going to do the same thing with that. Let's see you tomorrow. All right, guys, new day back on this bracket here. I got to cut a 6-inch piece out of here, and then I'll round it off. It's 6 inches from center, so I got to do center hole 6 inches out, and then that'll tell me like roughly where I need to be. Gonna knock this out, make this real quick, get it TIG welded up, get it on the car, and we're basically done with it other than just the cosmetic stuff. So let's get to work.
All right, just gonna kind of zoom through the next bracket. You guys have already seen it. Really the only difference in this bracket compared to the other one was that I was not able to cut the slit in it to let the car's bracket go through it. It had some kind of weird cage on it, so that it would cause me to have to build this so much bigger than it needed to be. Well, then I got the idea, why don't I just run it behind the bracket? I probably could have did it on the other one also, and I probably should have. It would have saved a whole bunch of time. I don't think there's any issue in strength by me running it behind the bracket instead of in front of it again. Here, I was pretty warmed up on the TIG from the other one, so the welds came out a lot better in this one. I am not a professional TIG welder, guys. I'm basically self-taught. I think I took a online stainless steel class with a Pacific arc weld, which helped a lot to understand what I was looking at, which was kind of my biggest issue when I was TIG welding, is I didn't know that I was looking at something that might be too hot or too cold or undercut or whatever it is people say on the internet, because everybody's a professional welder on the internet. But it helped a lot by taking that class. So I do give a big shout out to him. It's a Pacific Arc Welding. It's like a $500 stainless steel class, and you take the class, do it on your own pace, and you get to keep it when you're done. So that's a plus too. And there we go. She's in. Nice and sturdy. I can shake the car. Top one, two. All right. It wasn't too bad. This side was actually way easier to do than this side. I don't know why. I guess it's the way they built the strut tower with the gas tank. You know, the gas filler neck being right there makes things a little bit more difficult, but I'm able to tighten these up because they are right-hand, left-handed thread. Tighten them up, and then I can lock them in. So I'm actually getting some tension on the bar, but that's sturdy. I mean, that's a little flex into it, but I'm moving the entire car right now. But yes, that is perfect. So next, we take these off, clean this up, powder coat the brackets. We're going to paint this the same color. Eventually, I'm going to do an X-brace going across, but I'll have to do steel for that because I can't weld aluminum. Good stuff. All right, we're just sanding the bar down. This is an aluminum swag bar, and I'm just sanding it because we're going to paint it so that it matches the same as the other bar that's already in there. It also, oddly enough, matches my wheels. I don't know how that happened. Complete accident, I think.
All right, little paint. I know it's dark, but I gotta get this painted now so that it can dry, because last time I did this, I stunk my car up like spray paint. But cool little bronze color. Not worried about it being perfect, just make sure it's covered. Alright, let that dry. Alright, tomorrow we get the brackets here. We're going to get these in powder. I think they came out really good. Welds look good, cleaned up really nice. I left the fatty boy welds on the back, but they didn't come out too bad for what they are. But they're heavy duty, that's for sure. We're gonna get those powder coated tomorrow. Gonna let the bars dry overnight. Like I said, I don't want it stinking up my car. So I guess we'll just call it a night and jump back out in the morning. Later. All right, guys, new day, and we're gonna get into powder coating. So this is kind of how you'll stick your oven if you need to lay longer things like this. I need to be able to hang it, so that's how we're gonna do that. I went ahead, everything's already been sanded, cleaned up, looks really good. So that's good. We're letting the oven somewhat heat up, air compressor's ready to go. This is the booth, we gotta plug it in. I'm gonna mix the powder up here. We're gonna use the OEM black. This is really all I have, but it works. OEM black, it's like a gloss black, and it looks good. So it'll work for what I want it to do. All my stuff's here. This is some spray they give you that you spray on the filter, and I guess it helps the powder stick to the filter. I don't know what that is. And then here's my gun, and it's just a regular Eastwood gun. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Nothing real big on the gun here. We'll get all this ran. Like I said, oven's cooking. The way you can check your temperature, kind of just use your gun. There, it's already at 159. Needs to be at 375 per the bag. 20 minutes, 375. So I'm gonna put you guys up on the tripod and I'll kind of go over this stuff with you. So we're gonna put some powder in here. Ooh, but I guess that thing lets off some heat. And you can put as much in as you need to, because you can pour it back in the bag when you're done anyway. Let's not make a mess. Just need to make sure you got enough in there for the straw. The straw that has the pickup for it. Cool thing about powder is so easy to clean up. I need to clean these off too. This gun's super simple. Once you're done, all you're gonna do is blow the gun off. Clean out the canister and you're finished. So again, like I said, super easy to use. Now we're gonna clean up the parts real quick from me touching them and sanding on them. Once you've cleaned them, make sure you got gloves on. You should be using some like alcohol. I don't have any, so I'm gonna use acetone. Get in them hard to reach places. Y'all should probably sandblast this stuff. That's ideal. I do not have a sandblaster, nor do I have room for one. Maybe one day. Make this channel blow up so I can get one. You don't want any dirt. And now you don't want any lint either. We're gonna have to do one of these at a time. With the one I used before. See if I can get this in there. And I don't want to run into problems here. There we go. Alright, so super easy. Like I said, I'm going to hook it here. You do need a ground. So my ground's going to clamp to this pole, which is going to allow me to powder this here. So let's set that up. And so you kind of see how the paint booth works. You got a fan here, a box fan. All of this is riveted to the fan. I'll just turn it on to 3. It's now pooling. So now it's gonna, when I powder, sorry for the noise, but when I powder, it's gonna pool out that. We'll hook our filter, we'll set our gun at the gun. So about 20 pounds. And then you've got this little button here that you've got to push as you're powdering, and that's going to activate the static electricity. So I push it, and I start to powder. You just want to get it on there. this. You don't want to bump it, but if you do, powder just rubs right off. Kind of find this to be the not so fun part, just because I've got to get this in here without touching all the heat. There we go. All right, that's in there. What we'll do is once the part reaches 375 degrees, which we'll check with our gun, we will then start the timer. It's gonna sit in here, I wanna say 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. It'll sit in here. So we're gonna do that. All right, so we're just waiting. If you guys ever powder coated before, this is a lot of fun, and I know, yeah, you could just spray paint it, but I guess having the durability and having that little extra class that you powder coated something is kind of cool. I would have liked to powder coated the strut bars, but I don't have obviously a big enough oven to do so. My buddy does. Sometimes we'll go over there and do it. But like I said, we're gonna let this flash over. Once it's done, you'll see it turn gloss. Check the temperature, keep checking it and checking it, and then you can take it out and it's done. Just give you a quick look but you can see it's already turned glossy. She's looking pretty. All right, all done with the first one. I'm gonna put on the little heat gloves here so we don't burn ourselves, which makes this really hard to grab, but I'm gonna give it a go. Make sure this door doesn't come back and hit you either, because that could hurt. We're going in raw. Look at that. So good. Looks like I might have bumped it there. I'm not sure, but I'll live with it. Now we're gonna shove the other one in there. We gotta turn this back on. All right, let's put the other one in. Like I said, guys, super easy cleanup. You take your gun and I blow it off. And that's it. Your gun's clean. You don't have to, you just get some powder on the ground and you can just sweep it up. It's not flammable, it's not toxic, so just take it, sweep it up. Unlike paint, where I'd be here for like 4 hours cleaning my gun. And there we go. Look at that. You can see yourself. Smile. Just kidding. All right, we're gonna throw these on the car. Like I said, I do want to wait a couple days to let the paint dry on the actual bar itself, because I don't want my car smelling like spray paint for the next 5 weeks. So we'll get back on this in a couple days. See you then. All right, been a couple days. Let's get the strut bar in. Let's go. that for me? Alright guys, and that's going to do it for the strut bar. I think I'm really going to end up doing an X bar on it, but for right now I think it's good enough is good enough. We got more stuff coming in for it, so if you want to see more fit content, let me know below. If you don't want to see more fit content, let me know below. Alright guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up button for me, and I'll see you real soon. Later.